That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly comic book review, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books and let you know what I thought about them, and we always start with the pick of the week. And this week's pick of the week is Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 2, from Image Comics, written by Dennis Camp with artwork by Eric Zawadzki, coloring by Jordi Belair, Hassan Otsman El Hal on the lettering. Y'all, this is top-notch comic book making right here. Now, you know that I'm a huge fan of Dennis Camp's work, and I would say that this might be Dennis Camp's best work that he's ever done. This single issue, the best work he's done so far, is right here in the pages of Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 2. Now, Assorted Crisis Events is an anthology series, if you want to call it that, right? Each issue is one and done, self-contained, but part of a world in which crisis events, a la DC Comics, are frequent in everyday life, right? So the first issue established that exceptionally well. The second issue seems to not care about that premise as much. Like, it's still there. It's still a part of the story. It's still absolutely integral to where this story goes and how it unfolds. But this story is not about that concept or that premise whatsoever. This story is about fear as a time machine. It's about a dude who works at a meat plant, I guess is the right way to put it, right? He works on the quote-unquote kill floor, where he is responsible for killing hundreds of cows a day, you know, with the that kind of thing, right? It's about a dude who's doing that for his life. It's also about his relationship with his mother, his relationship with his father, and his relationship to the world. This book is profoundly impactful on a personal level. Not just to me, but I think to many people out there. I think this book resonates like crazy. It is absolutely stunning. It is absolutely perfectly executed, incredibly well thought out, perfectly paced, exceptionally crafted. This book is the best work I've ever seen from Dennis Camp. And Dennis Camp has another book out this week that's one of the best comics of the week. But Assorted Crisis Events takes the cake. One of the reasons why is because of the artwork by Zawadzki. The artwork is absolutely freaking phenomenal. It's amazing. And the way that there's repeated imagery in the artwork and repeated bits of the script involving birth, life, love, death, it all freaking works for me, y'all. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, Jordi Belair coloring the shit out of this book, Hassan Otsman El Hal lettering the shit out of this book. This is what a comic book looks like. And I've said this many times, usually talking about the work of W. Maxwell Prince or the work of Dennis Camp and their collaborators. This is what a comic book looks like when every person involved in the creation of this book gives a shit about not just the comic book industry, but the medium of comic books. This is a story, yeah, it could be told in film, it could be told on television, it could be told in a novel, but it wouldn't have the same impact as it does here in the comic book form. You know me. You know I love movies. But you know that above that, I love comic books. There is not an art form out there better to me than the comic book. And Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 2, is a very relevant example of why comic books mean so much to me. This book is thematically rich. It is structurally sound. It is artistically magnificent. It is top-notch comics, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I know that we're only in April of 2025 right now. We got a few months to go for the rest of the year, right? Right now, this Assorted Crisis Events, issue number 2, is the best single issue comic I have read this year. It's also, I think, the best single issue comic I've read maybe in the last 2 years. This is levels above what any other comic is doing right now. This week, this month, this year, last year, this is it, y'all. If you want to know the power of comic books, read Assorted Crisis Events issue number 2. And here's the beauty of it. You don't have to have read issue number 1. You don't have to invest in this series as a whole going forward to appreciate and understand this comic. This comic book is amazing. This comic book is akin to the triple threat main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. It's that good. It's better. It's honestly better. It's honestly better. I feel I was trying to do the wrestling thing, you know, because WrestleMania weekend just wrapped up. That was awesome. That was cool. And I tried to tie it in with that. But honestly, this is so far above, in comic books as a medium, is so far above, I think, sports entertainment, professional wrestling. And you know what? I love that shit. I love it. I love it. This, it goes beyond movies. It goes beyond TV. It goes beyond... This is one of the best pieces of fiction I've ever read. This is amazing. This comic book is exceptional. Read it. You really need to. All right, also from Image this week, we got Moonshine Bigfoot issue number 1. So this is a new comic book. It's silly, it's fun. It's written by Mike Marlowe with artwork by Stephen Ellis. Zach Howard is also the writer and the inker here. Nelson Daniel on the coloring. It's a fun book. It's a fun, silly, let loose, have a good time kind of comic book, right? What's it about? Well, it's about a Bigfoot. It's about a Sasquatch who was given up by his Sasquatch Bigfoot parents, raised by redneck humans to be a moonshiner, and it's about a Bigfoot who is a moonshiner and all the chaos that surrounds that life. It's all right. It's not as good as I wanted it to be. I love, though, that it doesn't take itself very seriously. The artwork at time can be a little bit, maybe too dense, maybe a little bit too cluttered, right? But it gets the job done. It does really elevate some of the action sequences in the book. I had a lot of fun with this book. It's not a book that takes itself very seriously, except for this. It is seriously trying to be a fun comic book. And that's what Moonshine Bigfoot is, and I appreciate it for that. Then we've got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, Silent Missions, Roadblock. This one is done by Andrew Cronky. This was really good. I would say that this is the second best of all of these G.I. Joe Silent Missions. And what it is it's a tribute, if you will, to the G.I. Joe number 21, the Silent Snake Eyes issue, which is one of the greatest silent comics of all time. It is super solid. It's the only G.I. Joe single issue that I own personally. I love that book. I thought this book was really freaking solid. In fact, all of these silent missions from G.I. Joe Real American Hero have been pretty freaking solid. One of them made the pick of the week. That was the one by Dan Waters and Danny, and that was absolutely a fantastic book. This one is great. Seriously, Andrew understands the mission. He understands the assignment, if you will, and it is a perfectly told action story through a series of images. And that's something that comic books can do that no other medium can do. The theme of tonight's video is that comic books can do things that movies, TV, and novels cannot do. Other forms of fiction and entertainment, YouTube, TikTok, whatever the hell you do to consume your entertainment, comic books do it like no other medium out there. They do it like no other media. Like, it's absolutely insane. And Andrew Cronky does an incredibly good job with this book. It's really cool. And by the way, This is the year of the heel, the year of 17, the year of the last time is now. So there has been somebody in my comments, I don't remember their name, but somebody in my comments has been saying, yo, how dare you talk about G.I. Joe, Real American Hero? You never talk about it. And all of a sudden, one makes your pick of the week. What's up with that? You should not do that. That's bullshit. You're a travesty. You're a faker. You're a poser. All right. It's the year of the heel. John Cena's won his 17th championship. I feel bold to say this. Yo, fuck you. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. And I know so much more about comics. I can know more about comics than you fucking forgot. So fuck off, dude, right? Like, okay, I'm sorry I haven't read over 300 issues of Larry Hama's G.I. Joe. I'm fucking sorry. I'm working on it. That being said, fuck off. You suck. Suck it. There you go. Also, speaking of which, G.I. Joe is here with issue number 6. Josh Williamson and Tom Riley and Jordi Belair have been killing it on this book. So this is the end of the first arc of Josh Williamson's G.I. Joe Energon saga. Now, this has been plenty well built up, because we had the Duke series, we had the Destro series, we had the Scarlet series, we had the Cobra Commander series, and it's all led to this moment right here. Also, all the shit with the Transformers and the Void Rivals, it's all led to this moment right here. What is this moment? How about the best G.I. Joe comic I've ever read? Get the fuck out of here. This book is absolutely amazing. Duke confronts Cobra Commander. Now, I grew up, by the way, to that one guy, fuck you again. I grew up a fan of G.I. Joe. I watched the damn cartoons. I had the toys. I'm a G.I. Joe mark, y'all. Like, I really freaking am. And Cobra Commander has always been like Skeletor, and you know me, what do I love more than G.I. Joe? Masters of the fucking Universe, how about that? But G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander, Skeletor, two of my favorite villains in 80s cartoon canon and legacy, right? Like, but Skeletor and Cobra Commander were always a little bit too cowardly to really take seriously, right? Josh Williamson promised me, he promised us, that what he was going to do with G.I. Joe was going to be something that was so respectful of the legacy and the love that fans have for G.I. Joe, but at the same time, really elevate Cobra Commander to a legitimate threat and make him truly not just menacing, but scary. Josh, homie, you've fucking done it. This is it, dude. Like, if this was a G.I. Joe cartoon from 1986 or 1984 or whatever the hell it was, right? It would literally be Duke showing up, punching Cobra Commander maybe a couple of times. He runs away. That is not this Cobra Commander, y'all. This Cobra Commander is truly menacing, evil, and threatening, and a legitimate threat. And this is a perfect conclusion to the first arc of G.I. Joe. That's right, motherfucker. I love G.I. Joe. And I can talk about G.I. Joe comics if I want. And you know what the other thing is, bruh? I can talk about G.I. I can not talk about G.I. Joe comics if I want to. Boom, start your own YouTube channel. What's up? What's up? What's up? Come see me. You can't see me. That's right. Anyway, G.I. Joe issue number 6 is perfection. This is how you conclude the initial arc of a mainstream comic. And that's what I'm tired of this. I'm no longer going to say big 2. I'm going to say big 3.5, y'all, because it's Marvel, it's DC, it's Image, and it's Skybound. In fact, how about big 3.75? Because, my bad. Big 3.69, because the Energon universe is its own thing, and it's working. Also, speaking of the Energon universe, how about a tie-in to Transformers? More than you realize, there's been a Transformer hiding in the midst of G.I. Joe this entire time. Now, I was privy to the retailer call with Josh Williamson and some of the editors and other people at Image. I was privy to that. And this was already sort of kind of revealed during that. There's a big moment here that's going to be paid off even more fully in the Energon Universe special for Free Comic Book Day, which, by the way, I've already read, and it's awesome, and you need to check it out. So there you go. All right. Let's hotshot this shit. How about Rob Liefeld's Youngblood Deluxe issue number 1? I got that foil cover. I love it. It's so cool. So what this is this a repackage of Youngblood issue number 1. And they're going to do this for issue number 2, and issue number 3, and issue number 4, and so on and so forth. Because our good buddy Rob Liefeld has somehow worked out the dealings and is able to work on Youngblood again. In fact, he's got a new Youngblood book that's already been dropping. Now, y'all, I'm not on Whatnot. You know me. Fuck Whatnot. I don't give a shit about that. However, I give a shit about Rob Liefeld. I haven't gotten a chance to read his new Youngblood number 1, because now Rob Liefeld is continuing the saga of Youngblood. If anybody can get a hold of that, can send me a copy. I'll pay you for it. Just let me know. My buddy Mark Spears did a cover, so I'll see him at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo this week. And I hope I can get a copy of it because, Rob, I love what you're doing. I love Youngblood. And this is interesting. So, this is Youngblood Deluxe. So, I think there... So, first of all, let me tell you this. I'm a big Rob Liefeld fan. And I covered all of Volume 1 of Youngblood on Image in the 90s. And that's very soon ready to be clipped out and put here on YouTube. So you don't have to go hunting through Rockin Robbie Lives to find it. But Youngblood issue number 1, the very first Image comic, a very important comic book in our comic book industry. It is a very clunky comic, right? So at some point, several years ago, they brought in Joe Casey to kind of recontextualize and rescript the book. That is what this is working on. I don't know if there's any extra cleanup on the artwork or new pages added or anything like that. I don't know. I really don't, right? But I know that this is a better comic than Youngblood number 1 was back in 1993 or whenever it was, right? It has a new opening sequence. It ties in both stories together perfectly well. And I know that Joe Casey did this redress of the script, if we want to call it that way. In fact, we had Joe on the channel not too long ago. He goes, hey man, I wonder if this Youngblood Deluxe thing is like my script that I did. Yo, it is, Joe Casey. It totally is. And this is the first time I've read this. I don't know when Joe Casey's revisionalist script was originally released, but I like it. I like that it adds a little bit more depth and layers to this continuity. That being said, it's still a clunky book. It's still a clunky issue, but it's about to iron itself out because Youngblood got better at issue number 2, and it even got even more better at issue number 6. So, y'all, I'm sorry. If you repackage Youngblood with a foil cover, guess what? My ass is buying it, and I'm going to praise the book here on the channel. Praise it. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got Medieval Spawn, issue number 1 from Todd McFarlane. It's written by Rory McConneville, artwork by Marco Itri. It's okay. It's not that great, to be honest with you. It's a story of medieval Spawn back in the day. It's all right, but it doesn't have what I love about Spawn comics, which are like dynamic moments in comics, right? Like each issue of a Spawn comic usually has like 2 or 3 really big explosive and kinetic moments. This one doesn't have that, and it was kind of mediocre because of it. I didn't really vibe with it that well, and I don't know, honestly, if I want to come back for more. So Medieval Spawn, to me, was kind of mid. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Gunslinger Spawn here with issue number 42. Now, I was loving Gunslinger Spawn for 30 plus issues, and then they do a big switcheroo, and they take Brett Booth and they put him over to the main Spawn book. They bring Carlo Barberi over to Gunslinger Spawn. They just switched the artists. And it switched the whole momentum and vibe of both books. Spawn, to me, has elevated itself with Brett Booth, Gunslinger Spawn has de-elevated itself. It has de-evolved. Are we not men? We are Devo. We are Gunslinger Spawn. This one's not quite working for me. It's boring. It's dull. And honestly, at halfway through this book, I was like, why am I reading this book anymore? Because I love the character of Javi, of Gunslinger Spawn. I love this story, but like, where are we going? What are we doing? Why is this book so boring? This isn't the timing. These do not represent the Spawn Todd McFarlane books that I love and fell in love with as a kid when they first released at like 12 years old, and today as an adult. When I got back into Spawn 3 years ago, I told you all this. Actually, it was like 5 years ago. I started becoming a Spawn fan again. It changed my life for the better. And now, you let me down just a little bit this week, I'll tell you that. All right. Then we got Universal Monsters, The Mummy, issue number 2. This is from Faith Erin Hicks. Now, I'm not super familiar with Faith's work. I really am not. Now, I was on the retailer call where they were talking about this book, and I was really excited. The Mummy is one of my favorite Universal Monster movies. And Skybound's been killing it with these Universal Monsters movie books, right? Honestly, the only disappointment I've had so far has been The Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, and I'm very shocked that I was disappointed in that book because it was written by Rom V and Dan Waters, but it just didn't quite work for me. It didn't quite land. But the Dracula book by James Tynion and Martin Simmons was exceptional. The Frankenstein book by Michael Walsh was exceptional. And I know what's coming next. Y'all, you're not even ready for that book. Trust me. I can't tell you what it is, but I know what it is. That being said, The Mummy is one of my favorite, I think, most underrated, undersung, underappreciated Universal Monsters movie. This book gets that. It knows that. It knows that The Mummy has so much more richness to pull from it. And Faith is doing an incredibly hell of a job here because this story is focused on Helen's perspective during the... I almost said incarnation. Yeah, during this incarnation of The Mummy. But during the narrative flow of the Mummy movie... Alright, first of all, Helen in that movie, one of my favorite characters in Universal Monsters, period. Like, love that character. Zita Johann does an incredible job portraying that character. I love seeing this book told from her perspective. I love seeing this story from her view. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. If you're a fan of that Mummy movie, definitely check it out. Now, if you're not a fan of the Mummy movie, or if you've never seen the Mummy movie, I don't know how much this is going to deliver to you. I'll just say that. But kind of like what James Tynion and Martin Simmons did with Dracula, this is a book, and just like Michael Walsh on Frankenstein, this is a book that's between scenes and elaborating on scenes we got in the movie. I like the artwork, I love the story, I love the perspective, and you know what? I love that variant cover by Ryan Sook. Guess what? Cover of the week, y'all. Haunting, cool, and Lakers yellow and purple. Gold and purple, baby. Lakers, we got embarrassed on Saturday. I'm filming this on Tuesday night. I hope they're doing better right now. We got to wrap this up so I can go watch the Lakers, y'all. It's just been wrestling for the last fucking 5 days. Seriously. Oh, NXT's tonight too? Jesus. Anyway, Bug Wars is here with issue number 3. Bug Wars is alright. I know a lot of people really like this book. It's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids meets Game of Thrones. It's decent. It's okay. But I think that it does kind of get a little dull in certain moments. Like, it's not completely winning me over, right? Like, I love Jason Aaron. I've met him. He's a super cool dude. He's from Jasper, Alabama, which is just, I don't know, like an hour and a half down the road from me. But Bug Wars is a solid book, but I think it could be more solider. More solider? Yeah. No wonder I didn't win any CBC awards last year, but Bug Wars, to me, I think a lot of people like this book. It's a really cool concept. It's got some cool ideas. But this issue kind of dulled me out just a little bit. It's just... it's getting bogged down just a little bit, but it's got some really cool ideas. So I'm on middle of the road on this one, right? I wouldn't say the book is mid. I would say it's slightly above mid, but my enjoyment of this book is kind of middle of the road. Does that make sense? Let's jump over to DC. We got Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 2, or as I wish DC would have the balls to call it, Absolute Martian Mindfucker issue number 2. This is written by Dennis Camp with artwork by Javier Rodriguez. Y'all, issue number 1 made the pick of the week. Issue number 2 would have made the pick of the week too. But Dennis also released Assorted Crisis Events issue number 2 this week. This was absolutely amazing. I love the idea of the Martian Manhunter being more of a extraterrestrial or an ultra-terrestrial. My bad. Let me I love the idea of the Martian mindfucker being more of an ultra-terrestrial than an extraterrestrial. I love that idea. Here you got John Jones possessed by some kind of ultra-terrestrial, ultra-dimensional entity, and in the first issue that was really explained very well, and in the second issue we have our first mission for the ultimate, or my bad, the Absolute Martian Mindfucker. It's pretty solid. I really like it. It's the second best comic book I read this week. It's beautiful. The artwork is amazing. The coloring is magnificent, and the story is incredibly well thought out, and it is the best interpretation, or reinterpretation, I should say, out of all of the Absolute books from DC right now. I'm loving this book. Initially meant to be 6 issues, now upgraded to an ongoing. At my comic shop, most issues we've ever sold of a Martian Mindfucker book, my bad, Martian Manhunter. I'm cussing a lot tonight. Is this going to get demonetized? Super thanks, super chats, they're always welcome. Anyway, Absolute Wonder Woman, or should I say Absolute Wonder Mindfucker is here. I really love this book. Kelly Thompson is delivering some of the best work of her career since Jim and the Holograms, since her Hawkeye book, since West Coast Avengers, since co-creating Jeff the Landshark. This book lands for me. Now, the artwork is done by Mateus Dialuis, and I'm going to say that there is something different. The artwork feels more flat in this issue than it did in the last issue, but the story is super solid. You got a little bit of Persephone action. You got some Hades action. Hey, these nuts are all over your face. Dude that was talking shit about my G.I. Joe reviews, fuck you. Anyway, I love this book. I love this issue. I thought it was super cool. Absolute Wonder Woman is one of DC's best books right now. It really, really is. And I love this interpretation of Hades. I love this interpretation of Persephone. I love how it leans into Greek mythology. It leans into the even this issue in particular is delivering the fable, right? That story of the lady and the tiger, and using it in a very nuanced kind of way. And I like it. So I think this is one of the best books DC's putting out. No exception here. Then we got Justice League Unlimited, issue number 6. All right, y'all. So I was doing my review, and I didn't even realize the camera cut off, but I did this whole, expertly crafted review of Justice League Unlimited, issue number 6. Let me see if I can remember what I said. Basically, here are the cliff notes. I said that Justice League Unlimited, number 6, elaborates on the Airwave heel turn, explains why that heel turn happened, how it ties into Gorilla Grodd's story in the We Are Yesterday storyline, because this is the second part of We Are Yesterday, which started in Batman Superman World's Finest, that last issue that came out. And what has happened, and I don't want to reveal why, but somehow Gorilla Grodd's powers have leveled up a little bit, and he's able to go into the past to get the past Legion of Doom to be interfering with the Justice League Unlimited today. This was a really solid issue. If you felt like you needed to skip out on World's Finest, you're just collecting JLU, you're just reading this book, that's fine. It'll catch you up, but you really should read both. This is really great stuff. I loved this issue. But that's the story. It reveals why Airwave turned heel. It reveals the Rock's involvement. Just kidding. It doesn't reveal the Rock's involvement. But it's really exceptional. It's really cool. It's really fun. And one of the things I said, I wish I had that. Like, honestly, when that happened, y'all, I thought I had lost every single bit that I had already recorded. And I was like, man, I am on fire tonight, right? I am so elevated by John Cena's win of his 17th championship. I was slaying the review tonight. Plus, I've had 3 shots of tequila. So I'm feeling pretty good. That being said, Justice League Unlimited issue number 6 is great. And if you're not reading the World's Finest tie-ins to this, you really should. It helps add some context to this story. You will still enjoy this issue, but you need the World's Finest bits to really contextualize everything. I thought this was a great book. I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed it. To that G.I. Joe guy, fuck you. Anyway, moving on, we got Batman 159, aka Batman Hush 2 Part 2. I was pretty harsh on the first issue of Batman Hush Batman Hush 2 Part 2, issue number 1. I was kind of harsh on it. I think deservedly so. I don't think it was a great issue. In fact, here at issue number 2, I'm going to say Jim Lee's still phoning it in just a little bit. He's phoning it in just a little bit. Like, it's still good. It's solid artwork. The artwork was better to me than it was in the previous chapter, but it's still not the Jim Lee that we know and love, or the Scott Williams that we know and love. That being said, narratively speaking, story-wise, issue number 2 is a little bit better than issue number 1. It was. It wasn't good. It definitely wasn't great, but it was still more okay than Batman 158. Yeah, I'll say that. What else do I want to say about this book? I'm not trying to shit all over this book. It's got some decent bits in the story. Basically what happened is Hush has manipulated Batman into saving the Joker's life. This whole issue kind of elaborates on that just a little bit. Jason Todd gets involved. He's pissy. It is a sequel to Hush. Batman Hush is not my favorite Batman story at all. It's not in my top 50. It may not even be in my top 100. I think it's overrated. I think Batman Hush is overrated. And if you disagree with me, that's okay. The only person that I'm upset with right now is that G.I. Joe fuck. Yeah, I'm cursing a lot tonight. It's that tequila. Anyway, Batman Hush, Volume 2, Issue number 2, it's aight. Here's the thing. I don't have to say anything about this book. It's going to be one of the best sellers of the month. Y'all are going to buy it no matter what. Just like you're going to boo Cody Rhodes and cheer John Cena as a heel. That's what you do. You don't cheer me as a heel. I get it. I'm understanding it. Maybe I'm getting a little tired of this heel turn. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, Batman 159. It's better than 158. But not by too much. Not by too much. Then we got Superman issue number 25. Issue number 24 of Josh Williamson's Superman run was freaking fantastic. I loved it. It had a turn. It had an ending that I honestly didn't see coming. And it made me feel stupid that I didn't see it coming. Now we get to pay it off, and it's aight. It's good. Like, it's better than aight. It's solid. It's good. It's good storytelling. And you got different artists here. Jamal Campbell. We got Dan Mora, and we got, who else we got? We've got Eddie Barrows and Ibar Ferreira. The artwork is a little bit inconsistent because all the styles are so different, but the story is pretty solid. I like it. There's this new version of Lex Luthor or something like that. Like, I'm enjoying this book. I think that Josh Williamson is really doing a great job. Can you tell, by the way, that my camera cutting off on me with I didn't realize how long I was going on this shit. I shouldn't drink tequila before these reviews. Or maybe I should. Anyway, Superman number 25 was good, but it wasn't as good as issue number 24. But it was okay. It was all right. It was kind of like, it was kind of like WrestleMania Night 1 was fucking awesome. WrestleMania Night 2 was like, okay. Starts off really strong. Second half, okay, decent. But you know what? John Cena won, so you can see me. Anyway, that being said, Superman 25, super fun. I'm liking what Josh is doing with that book. All right. Green Lantern issue number 22. Hector Hammond is a bad guy again, no surprise. And Jeremy Adams is still crafting a very consistent and solid Green Lantern run. Well, no surprise there as well. This was a really fun comic. It had great artwork by Hermonico. I love the usage of Superboy. I'm a big Connor Kent fan. I love Star Sapphire. I love Hal Jordan. And there is some nice references to that story. What was that series called? Was it called The Breach or The Reach or something like that? Some nice callbacks to that. This is super fun. Green Lantern has been a very consistent run that at the same time feels very epic in scope. And Jeremy Adams knows what he's doing, and he's doing it exceptionally well. There you go. Then we got Peacemaker Presents Vigilante and Eagly double feature issue number 2. Co-written by James Gunn, kind of. What do they call it? They call him story consultant, right? So this is a story. It's 2 stories in each issue, right? One is a vigilante story that is written by Tim Seeley with artwork by Mitch Gerrits. And the artwork is great. The story is great. It's focused on vigilante. He thinks that his best friend Peacemaker has been kidnapped by an army of evil robots, and it's just absolutely hilarious. Meanwhile, the second story, which is written by Rex Ogle with artwork by Matteo Loli, is the fact that Peacemaker's actually going on vacation, having his own problems on vacation, but telling Vigilante that is so much fun. Both of these stories are so much fun, and they play on each other so well. Like, the idea that Vigilante's whole story is set up by the fact that he thinks Peacemaker is in danger, but honestly, Peacemaker is just ghosting him to get away from him. That's really cool. Also, it's set in the continuity of the TV show. And WrestleMania is all up in my brain. We were talking about WrestleMania on Saturday or Sunday night when we were watching it. Where I'm watching it with Jelani, I'm watching it with Brooks. Brooks hasn't seen Peacemaker yet at all. And we're all like, what the hell is wrong with you, bro? Watch Peacemaker. It's a great show. And if you're a fan of that show, read this book. It's not essential, but it's definitely something you will enjoy if you like that Peacemaker show. And Brooks, watch Peacemaker, man. Also, Chris Paul, you make some really, really dope ribs. All right, let's jump over to Marvel. Predator versus Spider-Man, issue number 1. They've done a few of these now. 3. This is the 3rd one. They did Predator versus Wolverine by Benjamin Percy, and I don't remember the artist. And it was all right. It was cool. It was fine. Predator versus Black Panther by Benjamin Percy and some artists, and it was good. I like that one. I like that better than the Wolverine one. Predator versus Spider-Man issue number 1 was fucking awesome. This was dope. So there's another Predator. He's like a Skinner Predator, like not like Principal Skinner from the Simpsons, but he's like he's like ripping people's faces off and wearing them and shit like that. Like, it's really freaking cool, and it gets really gnarly and more gory than I thought it would. At my shop, I've been like, no, put all the Marvel vs. Predator books in the regular section, not the mature reader section. No, this one needs to be in the mature reader section. It's pretty freaking good, and it's very gross, and it's very rated R, more rated R than the other ones have been. Spider-Man is, just doing Spider-Man stuff. there's a Predator in New York, and he's not just killing people, but he's like taking trophies, he's taking faces, there's some gnarly artwork. There are times where the artwork feels a little bit cluttered, but then there are moments where it works so freaking well for me. This was my favorite of all of these Predator versus Marvel books. This one hit me, and it hit me in the right way. And I read it before I drank the tequila. So there you go. Then we got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. Joe Kelly, Pepe Larraz doing their second issue of their new ongoing run. Artwork is amazing. Pepe Larraz is one of the best artists that Marvel has currently. Let me find a really good... How about the first pages? Right there. Spider-Man basically has been poisoned. He's been injected with fear toxin in a way, and he's basically tripping throughout this issue, but it's fun. And Joe Kelly, now I don't know Joe Kelly. I know one of his homies, Joe Casey, but I don't know Joe Kelly. And what I do know about Joe Kelly is that his favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. And that love comes across in this new run of Spider-Man. Issue number 1 and issue number 2 have rocked. I really enjoyed them. I have not really enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man for years. So this is pretty dope. I liked it. I thought it was good. One World Under Doom, issue number 3. Let me ask you a question. I want to hear your response in the comments. I'll respond to these comments. I'll do better than John Cena. I'll respond to your comments. Anyway, One World Under Doom is the latest major mega event from Marvel. Does this feel like an event to you? Does this feel earned? Does this feel widespread? Does it feel necessary? Does it feel impactful? Me? I don't think it does. I really don't. I like Ryan North. He's a solid writer. He's doing a decent job. Fantastic Four is my favorite superhero mainstream comic of all time. I love it, right? One World Under Doom, to me, is One World Underwhelming. It's absolutely just underwhelming. I'm not digging it. This is a 9-issue series. I already feel 3 issues in, we're going too long. We're stretching it out too much. Seriously, the Avengers decide they're going to team up with supervillains to take out Dr. Doom. Oh, surprise, issue 3 out of 9, it doesn't work. You're taking the audience for granted. This is akin to The Rock not showing up at WrestleMania 41. It's disappointing. It's disappointing to me. It's bogged down by the weight of its own verbosity and the weight of its own ridiculousness. It's not working for me. And Victor Von Doom is my favorite character in fiction. I didn't say my favorite comic book character. I didn't say my favorite character in superhero fiction. I said my favorite character in fiction. This is weak. It's weak. It's below mid. It's weak. I don't like it. Then we got X-Men number 15. X-Men number 15 was actually a pretty solid issue of X-Men. I liked it. I don't think Jed MacKay's the strongest when he's working with a team book. Like, I don't really like his Avengers run. His X-Men run, it's not necessarily my favorite thing, especially from him. But this issue works for me. There's a new mutant who... The concept behind this new mutant that the X-Men are dealing with is actually really cool. I don't want to spoil it. But Cassandra Nova has been reintroduced to the story, and that's been fun. Brian Stegman has some artwork in this book, and it's some pretty dynamic artwork from Ryan Stegman, but then you get another artist that comes in, but it doesn't feel like super inconsistent, so it's all right. This was a pretty solid issue of X-Men. So there you go. All right, then we got Ultimate Black Panther issue number 15. Now, I can tell by the comments on my videos, I can tell by the sales of this book that people are waning on Ultimate Black Panther. Why? This book is awesome. This has some of the best action sequences of a Marvel comic book this week. It is so good. Brian Hill knows how to craft those action sequences and knows how to deliver an exceptionally cool story. Now, I criticized this book when it first launched for being a little bit too much like the regular Marvel Universe Black Panther book. It has definitely pulled itself away from that. It's introduced new concepts that haven't been explored in a Black Panther proper Marvel comic book. And I'm loving the book. I think it's really good. And a lot of people, I think, have fallen out of this book. There are more people reading X-Men, One World Underwhelming, and Amazing Spider-Man than this book. And this book is better than all three of those books. So what's wrong with y'all? Are you listening to G.I. Joe Guy? All right, I'm gonna leave him alone. G.I. Joe Guy, I love you. I think I respect you. I respect your opinion. But not really. I kind of want to RKO you out of nowhere. Anyway, from Oni Press, we have Out of Alcatraz, issue number 2. Issue number 1 made my pick of the week. This one, not so much. It was good. It was solid. I liked it. But it doesn't really have a oomph moment in it like the first one did. So there are these dudes that escaped from Alcatraz back in the day. Some of them are presumed dead. I think this might be based on a real story, but at the same time, it's an exorbitantly fictionalized version of that. Tyler Crook's artwork is stunning. It's amazing. The coloring, everything about it, the finishing, everything is great. It's fine. It gets the job done. But what I want, when I have an issue number 1 that really, really hooks me in, you got to elevate that in issue number 2. This one doesn't do that. So to me, it was slightly disappointing, but at the same time, still a great comic. So definitely check it out. All right, then we got Lilith, issue number 3 from Vault Comics. Where the hell Vault Comics been? They used to deliver consistently some of the best comics on the market. Now, not so much. And the problem with this book, artwork's fine. Story's decent. It's about this woman, Lilith. She's a demon. She kills people. She eats people. She's trying to get back to her home world, which I guess, I don't know, it's hell or some shit like that. Why is this like every 3 to 4 months? Is this a quarterly book? Like, what's going on? Like, it disconnects me from the book. It really does. So it devalues the book because of how infrequent the release schedule is. Doesn't quite work. Like, seriously, maybe this is something, once it's all done, you can read it all together and enjoy it. Maybe it's a great book. Maybe it's a banger. But, like, with its inconsistent release schedule, you're losing me. You're losing me. You're losing me fast. That being said, it is the smell of the week. Vault Comics has always made comics that smell good, and this one smells like... It smells like tits and blood. All right, from Boom Studios, we have Minor Arcana, issue number 6. Is this the end of the first arc or the beginning of the second arc? I don't know. Who cares about the structure? This is a great comic book. Jeff Lemire knows how to make comics, and I know a lot of people are not fans of Jeff Lemire's artwork. If you're not a fan of Jeff Lemire's artwork, you're going to love Batman 159, trust me. That being said, I love the artwork in this book. I love the emotional resonance of this book. I think it's really good. The only thing that's hindering this book for me is the release schedule. I feel like there was a gap between issue 5 and 6, so maybe this is the start of the next arc, but it's deepening the mystery. It's deepening my personal involvement with the characters, and it's doing it pretty solidly. So Minor Arcana, issue number 6. I like that book. I'm having a lot of fun tonight, y'all. All right, then we got Arcana Royale, issue number 1. A new book from Dark Horse. Written by Cullen Bunn. With solid artwork from AC Zambudio. Bill Crabtree on the coloring. Haven't seen his name in a minute. So this is kind of like, I don't know, what's the story? It's like a woman who's a gambler, likes playing cards. She plays cards in a supernatural, paranormal kind of group or something. It was unclear. It was shady. It was muddy. It didn't work for me. I didn't really like it. Now, Cullen Bunn's doing exceptional work on the book at Dark Horse right now called Jump Scare. I'm loving that one. Arcana Royale, not so much. Didn't really work for me. Then we got Black Hammer Spiral City issue number 5, the weakest issue of Black Hammer Spiral City so far, but the weakest issue of Black Hammer Spiral City is the best issue of many other comic book runs. So it's really solid. I really like it, but I'm ready for this story to move forward just a little bit. I don't feel like issue number 5 moved or progressed the story further, much further than, like, it didn't really move the story forward, and that kind of hindered my enjoyment of the book a little bit. But that being said, hey, y'all happy I'm finally reading Black Hammer and talking about it. Then we got Those Not Afraid, issue number 4. I love Kyle Starks. I met Kyle Starks a few times. He's such a cool dude. He's always agreed to come onto the channel. All I got to do is reach out to him. I should reach out to Kyle Starks because I want to bring him in. This is a story about 2 serial killers realizing they're about to break the record of the most kills from a serial killer. But the book has gone deeper than that. It's fun, it's scary, it's got high stakes, and new elements are being brought in. And I think this is the penultimate issue. I think we only have one more, but I could be wrong on that. But this is a solid book. And Kyle Starks is a very funny guy, right? If you meet him in person, he's so fun. That's why I gotta have him on the channel, right? If you want Kyle Starks on this channel for a conversation, let me know in the comments right now. Kyle is an incredibly funny guy, but he actually writes very funny stories, but also very fun stories that are fun, but not necessarily funny. And I would love to dive more into the mindset of that guy. So Those Not Afraid, read it, pump up those numbers. Let me know in the comments if you want Kyle to come on to the channel. Now, here's a book that I haven't reviewed since issue number 1 because I just wasn't vibing with it. But from Dark Horse, we have Turtles of Grayskull, issue number 4. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because Michelle Fife does the cover there. And I thought that was amazing. I thought it was really good. Until I saw that Mummy cover by Ryan Sook. This was going to be the cover of the week. That's why I put it in my stack. Look at that cover. I'm a big fan of Michelle's work. This is freaking awesome. Alright, so that's what I read. That's what I thought. Let's recap. That's a great cover right there by Fife, right? Those Not Afraid is a great book. If you want to see Kyle Starks here on this channel, let me know. I'll make it happen. I promise you. Black Hammer Spiral City, weakest issue so far, but still better than most comics out there. Arcana Royale did not work for me. Minor Arcana does work for me. I'm really liking that one. Lilith, the release schedule is fucking it up, but the smell. This book smells amazing. Out of Alcatraz, issue number 2 was weaker than issue number 1, which I thought was stupendous. But issue number 2 was a little bit weaker, but it was still pretty freaking solid. Ultimate Black Panther. Why do you give up on this book? This book's amazing. It's so good. X-Men was a really solid issue. One World Under Doom, more like One World Underwhelming. I'm not digging it. Amazing Spider-Man, though, 2 issues in. Y'all, I'm liking Amazing Spider-Man again. It's a good world. It's a great comic book world we live in when I enjoy Amazing Spider-Man. So there you go. Predator vs. Spider-Man was fucking dope, y'all. That was really good. Peacemaker presents Vigilante Eagly double feature. If you're a fan of that show, definitely check it out. Green Lantern is consistent as it usually is. Superman didn't quite live up to the hook of issue 24, but I did like it. I did enjoy it. Batman Hush was better than the first issue. Well, so 159 was better than 158. But it's still being phoned in just a little bit, y'all. You gotta admit that, right? Anyway, Justice League Unlimited is really solid. You should definitely read the world's finest tie-ins. Absolute Wonder Woman was awesome. Absolute Martian Manhunter was more than awesome. Bug Wars is okay. I think y'all are liking it more than me, but that's fine. That's okay. The Mummy gets the cover of the week from Ryan Sook, and I love Helen's perspective on that story. Gunslinger Spawn is whack. Medieval Spawn was whack. Youngblood Deluxe was whack, but it was better than the original Youngblood. Still clunky, though, but I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'll buy every issue. I'm going to buy every issue. G.I. Joe was awesome. A perfect ending to the first arc. G.I. Joe Real American Hero Silent Missions Roadblock was great. And fuck that guy who says I can't talk about G.I. Joe. You don't know me. You can't see me. Moonshine Bigfoot could have been better, but it was still solid. But Assorted Crisis Events wins because the artwork by Zawadzki is amazing. The coloring is amazing. The lettering is top-notch. And the story, so many layers, so many levels on this book. This is literally the best comic, single issue-wise, that Dennis Camp's ever done. And this dude's only going to do better. So there you go. That's what I read. That's what I thought. That's what I was digging. What are you reading? What are you thinking? What are you digging? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're in Huntsville this weekend for the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, I'll be doing panels with Billy Zane, Lou Diamond Phillips, William Shatner. I'll be doing the Buffy panel with Emma Caulfield and Charisma Carpenter. I'll be doing the Saturday morning cartoon panel. I'll be doing the Walking Dead panel with the dude from Balls of Fury and the dad from Shazam. I'll be doing Chris Claremont's panel, Kevin Eastman's panel. I'm forgetting some shit. I'm doing more. I'm doing like 9 or 10 panels this weekend. So if you're in Huntsville, come and see me at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. Also, Robbie Day's coming up, y'all. Robbie Day's coming up. I'm going to throw a link in the description to my Amazon wish list. If you want to buy me a birthday present, my birthday's May 10th. If you want to buy me a birthday present, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, that's fine too. But if you want to do something for my birthday, how about like, share, and subscribe to this video and to this channel. Anyway, thank you all so much. I love you. Y'all are the best. Except for that one kid over there. He's toxic and abusive. I don't like you. Don't like you. That's the kid talking shit about my G.I. Joe reviews. Anyway, I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. Station. Pop, pop. Boom! And yeah, fuck that G.I. Joe guy. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, ba-dum, bum.